Okay, so we should be live. It always takes a second here, so I always want to make sure it is
Yeah,
good.
I just got a Facebook notification. I wonder if that's your live notification. Let's take a look.
I think it is. Hey, okay, we are live. Awesome. Well, fantastic. So I'm live in the Facebook group Six Figure House Flippers. Very excited. We have a special guest today, and we're going to be talking about how to hit seven figures with an automated real estate business. And just really excited to share this and share the guest here. What's interesting. I was actually trying to get this gentleman. I think I've been trying to get him on here for about 9 months. He's that busy. He's that worth it too. I would have given up after the first attempt if it wasn't him, if it wasn't Chad here. But just want to share his story and kind of get into it, and just really excited to jump right into it. Chad is a veteran in real estate, been in it since 2013. I think at 1 month he ended up buying like 9 properties or 12 properties. He kind of flips real estate on its head, even in like today's hot market. Like he gets deals that come to him, and like they're great deals. I think he was saying like his average net profit's like 50,000, 55,000, which is amazing. So just want to hop on here, share his story and kind of go from there. But how are you doing, Chad?
I'm doing great. Thanks for that warm welcome, Victor. I appreciate the kind words.
Oh,
yeah,
no,
we've been trying to connect for a while, and from one thing to another, either schedule didn't work out or timing wasn't good, but we made it happen. So here we are.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here because you got
Glad to
some
be here.
valuable information to share, and you've actually helped me out a ton, believe it or not. I don't know if you know this, but you've helped me out a ton. Even 2 years ago, you just made some connections and gave me some advice, and I've saved probably tens of thousands of dollars, honestly, listening to you. So
That's awesome.
Share your story here. I am curious because I want to get into some of the stuff here, but like, what's your background? How did you get into real estate for the first time?
My background, yeah, that's a deep subject, I guess. I've been in a lot of different things. I've got a lot of different experiences. It's kind of I always think it's kind of an odd way that things kind of piece together. Like when I was in high school, I took some, carpentry classes and welding classes, and I didn't really know why. I just did it for the heck of it and liked it. When I went into college, I studied some technical stuff as well with residential construction, and didn't really even do that after I got out, but ended up getting into sales and selling for a while. And you kind of put all these things together, and I've got this mechanical background with construction, and then sales, and then end up in flipping houses. I've done a few other things, opened up a few different businesses. I think I'm in my fourth or fifth business now, if you count if you count rental properties and flipping houses, and then you count, I have a coaching business, and I used to have a business where we bought gold, silver, and diamonds from the public over the last recession in 2010 and 2012. And then prior to that, I had an online equipment sales business. So just a lot of different things, but I guess business and marketing and selling, those are kind of like the 3 things that really kind of, I guess you say construction and how real estate as well. I mean, those are kind of the things that are all kind of are in common between the different things I've done, and that have helped me kind of, I guess, get to where I'm at today, doing what I'm doing now.
No, I like it. You've done a lot of stuff, and like you're in real estate now, and you're able to use all those skills, to really help you in your real estate. I love to, if you're comfortable with it. I know you have an interesting story for like you and your first deal, like how you came across it and how it came to happen and that sort of thing. If you're comfortable sharing it, we'd love to hear it.
Oh, for sure. My first deal. So, I got into real estate investing. So let's just, I got into real estate investing after I was in the gold business, and I got a little bit of a buyout from partners that were in the business and exited the business. I really enjoyed that business, but then in the end, it just got to be too complicated. I had 4 different business partners, where I started the business with 1 and ended up with 4. And I didn't really have a lot of fun after that. It got too complicated. It's too hard to make everyone happy, I guess, and keep everyone on the same page. So anyway, I got out of that in 2013 in the beginning, and really was scratching my head, wondering what I was going to do next, because I really liked that business, but then we had like kind of a non-compete, so I couldn't go back and open up another one on my own. And so I had to all of a sudden just learn some new skill sets. And my thoughts were, I had a little bit of cash in the bank. I thought maybe I could buy some rental properties and, invest in those and have at least protect my cash and generate income. And so I thought, well, I'll just go and find one of these. I found out about wholesalers anyway, I thought I would reach out to some and see if I could just buy a house, and then the stuff they would show me, it was like in kind of not the best areas, and the prices were super high. And I was like, wow, if I'm going to buy a house, in an area I don't even like, I don't really want to pay retail for it. I'd rather buy something in an area I want to buy it in, and then also be able to get a deep discount on it. I figured, if you're buying them wholesale, you'd get them at a number that made sense to where you could fix it up and have equity in it. But it didn't seem like that was the case with the people I was talking to. So somebody suggested I get some education. I ended up on real estate investing and go through some training. So, I went the route a lot of people do. I got a coach, a mentor, went to some seminars, some boot camps, and got a lot of knowledge about flipping houses. And, they talked about marketing, and they said you should put out bandit signs and go knocking on doors. And I thought, well, that sounds terrible. I don't think that sounds like much fun. I've never been a person who wants to go out and look for my next customer. I'd rather have customers coming to me. So I've always been into, marketing. And so one way or another, we ended up doing a 30-day challenge, 30 days to wholesale your first deal. Okay. And I was a little bit, I guess I'd say apprehensive, or I don't know if you want to say skeptical about the idea that this would even work. Cause you go to like a seminar and a lot of people are talking about, they're telling you to go out and flip houses and wholesale them, and that it's going to be, simple to do. It sounded too good to be true. And so I needed to really prove to myself that it even worked. So I did some marketing. I think I was actually direct mail. My first attempt, I think I did some direct mail and had a lady reach out to me and said she had a house she wanted to sell. Met with her and we negotiated a price and got it under contract. I think it was a 2-bedroom house with 1 bath of probably, I don't know, maybe 700 or 800 square feet. Not a real big house on a slab. And it was sitting on a 1/2 acre lot. So I got it under contract for, I think, $55,000 or $51,000, somewhere in there, whatever the best I could negotiate with her was. And I thought, well, next thing to do is just, got one under contract, did my marketing, got the lead, got it under contract. Next thing was, well, now I need to find a buyer. So the house was pretty stinky. It had yellow walls and the paint wasn't yellow. I think it used to be white. So, so much smoke in there from the years that the walls were yellowish brown and it just stunk really bad like smoke. So, I thought, well, shoot, maybe I just paint this place, even though I didn't own it. I was like, what if I just took out all the carpet and painted in here? And then just made it clean and smell good. And I don't know what I was thinking. I never did that, but I thought, I don't remember if I was thinking I would do that and then the owner wouldn't care, or if I would ask her, or what I was thinking, but ended up not doing that anyway. Okay. But I thought, well, that's the only way I'm going to find a buyer. So, I think I put the property on Craigslist and, called a few people I knew that might be interested in houses, and ended up getting a hold of one particular buyer that kind of liked the house. And he said he buys them, it's in a pretty good area. So a really, really good area to buy the house in. But he said he keeps them as rentals, puts them in his retirement portfolio, and he just hangs on to them. So we ended up making a deal, and I can't remember the number. It might've been whatever it was. It was like $4,000 or $5,000 more than what I had it under contract for. That's awesome. My goal was just to not lose money on the first deal. I didn't want to sell it for less than I got it under contract for. I didn't want to have to walk away. I wanted to make a deal happen, but I also didn't want to make it harder on myself than it needed to be by either asking the seller for too low of a price and then her not putting a deal together, or asking the buyer for too high of a price and having them walk away. I wanted it to be an easy decision for everyone, just for myself to have the confidence to know that I could get it accomplished. I knew if I could do it one time, I could then later make it better, do it better the next time. So anyway, we got this deal put together. Buyer bought the house. I wasn't the most smooth transaction. I learned I didn't really like wholesaling that much because of the thing. But we got it done. I got it closed, and ended up being that day that I closed on that house, I had 2 other closings, and my buyer, it was my first buyer ever. And also I think I was buying 2 more houses the same day. And he was like, geez, you're busy. How are you getting all these deals? I'm like, I do my marketing, but it was pretty interesting to have it go that way. So, yeah.
That's crazy. Good for you. So you got your first deal, you made a profit. And then like what happened from there? You just realized like, hey, this is the real deal. Let's turn this into a business. Is that kind of how it evolved?
Well, no, I had already decided that I wanted to be flipping houses. At that point, when I started doing the wholesaling, I'd been through some seminars. They talked about how you can make a real business out of flipping houses, the big checks you can get. I'm like, yeah, I'm in on this. Just need to figure out how to make it work. So, and that was back in, 2013.
Right.
That first deal, that was the end of 2013. I think the first deal was around the beginning of 2014, somewhere I don't remember the month, but probably February. It was a couple months after I decided, got into this. I got my first deal and got it sold.
So you mentioned something. I want to dive deeper into that because like what I see that you do is really unique is like how you get deals. Because like you don't do MLS, like you don't do bandit signs, like you have your own like ways to get deals. So I love if whatever you're comfortable sharing, like how do you get deals? Like what are the ways to get deals and that sort of thing? Like should people even bother with MLS or
Yeah, I mean, maybe I could share some visuals. Would that be okay?
Yeah, let's see if I can.
Yeah. Why don't we share the screen? But I'll talk a little bit about it too.
Yeah, you can share it on your side.
I've never bought a house off the MLS except for the house I live in
Okay.
now.
Yeah.
And the one I bought before that for myself. I bought two houses for me personally and sold the last one and then bought another one here. But
So
those are the only two houses I've ever bought off the MLS. What's that?
That's correct. I didn't know you've never done MLS. I've only done one in my life. I think one MLS deal.
Yeah. Well, it's just not the most, I guess, simple strategy, but, so I guess the way I market for deals is, I tap into my kind of past business experience. So like I said, I had this gold business and in this, well, shoot, I should share some visuals here. So let me pull this up. So I had this gold business. Let me see if I can pull up some pictures and stuff, just kind of make this a little bit more interesting potentially, but let's see here. I didn't really prepare to share some of this, so it might take me a minute.
Well, yeah, whatever you want to get into. Right? I think it's a really unique take because there's a lot of people out there who say like, okay, I want to get into real estate. Let me get a realtor and start looking on Zillow.
And well, that's what I thought I would do.
Yeah. I found it's like way too competitive. Like the numbers don't work. If you're late by like 4 hours, like you missed the deal type of thing. And
yeah, that's the thing. Like, suppose I can share it this way. So let me switch my share around. I'm going to share my mobile here. iPhone via AirPlay. I don't know if you've ever done this or not. It's kind of cool.
I don't have an iPhone. I have an Android.
Oh, well, that's why. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you can't do cool stuff like this, I guess.
Unfortunately,
I need to do one more thing and I'll have it shared. Here we go. Screen mirroring. Okay, cool. Looks like it's going to work. Essentially.
There we go.
All right,
so we're looking at your phone right now. Is that what's
yeah, cool. You can see it, right? So I got it. So back in 2010, 29, I was looking for something to do different than my past business. Again, I ended up in a motorcycle accident in 2008.
Oh,
and prior business was like a heavy equipment business. I sold equipment online and it got super challenging with the recession and manufacturing plants shutting down. So I thought, well, I need a desk job. So I thought I saw a bandit sign, believe it or not, I saw a bandit sign. Somebody had a little bandit sign said, "We buy gold." And so I called the guy and I said, "Well, how do you buy this gold? And what do you do?" And because I thought it sounded interesting. And so he met me at Starbucks and he showed me what he was doing, what he was buying, little scrap silver and gold and stuff. And I bought a little bit of it from him just so I could take it back home with me and mess with it and learn how to test it and everything. But I realized that, after doing this gold business, I started buying off Craigslist like he was doing, meeting people that want to sell a ring or a necklace or whatever. And I'd buy this stuff in the evenings, a couple hours a week. I might go out and meet someone. Did that for about 6 months and had made about $30,000 just messing around and so profit. So I thought, well, there's a real business there. I'm just screwing around doing this. I need to figure out a way to scale this up. So I talked to a friend of mine and said, let's open up a store. And I identified this location here in Shawnee, Kansas, which is on a busy street and has a couple of 20, 30,000 cars a day that drive by it. And so we opened up that first store and started buying gold. And 3 years later, we had 16 stores. The reason why I even bring this up again is that I got to do all my own marketing. So I learned a lot about marketing. And at one point, our budget for marketing was $65,000 a month.
Okay. Wow.
Keep those stores busy. Pretty big number, huh?
Yeah. So I imagine you learn quite a bit with spending that much money.
Yeah. So I had to keep all these stores busy. We had 16 stores, and most of the stores had 1 or 2 employees. So somewhere around 20 or 25 employees. And we had $35,000 a month in rent going out to these stores. There was about 32,000 square feet of office space rented out in retail stores. But even one of my marketing ideas was to use a blimp to get people to come sell us their gold, and then to put a hot air balloon on the building. And so people bring in silver bars, and that's like a big bunch of stuff. This is all stuff we buy through these stores. Pure silver bars, 1 ounce each. So there's whatever there, I don't know, 50, 100 ounces of silver there. But marketing, I mean, goes down to everything from like what's going to say on the doors and the windows when people walk in the door, because they'd come in and they'd say, "What's this cash for gold? Like, what do you guys buy?" And they think, "Well, you buy gold." Well, no, we also buy silver tea sets and diamonds and coins and flatware sets and all these things. So we started putting on the windows all of the different things we could buy, and that way people didn't have to ask, and they just bring it in. It worked tremendously well. So anyway, we put the big hot air balloon on the building and lit it up at night, so it glowed real good. And while that thing was up there, man, we got so busy, lots of people coming in. And then it caught fire. The balloon fell over, and the light bulb in there's like a sodium bulb, one of those real hot bulbs, and it didn't catch fire, but it burned a hole through the side of the balloon. So we decided, well, we probably shouldn't do that anymore. So we just started using it. We stopped running the light in it, but people would bring in stuff like this. Like there's $40,000 worth of scrap gold.
You're kidding.
Right there, yeah. So people would bring this in every few days. We'd have $40,000 or $50,000 worth of gold to send off to the refinery. That's a 1 kilo gold bar.
How much is that?
And at today's gold prices, that's probably $50,000 worth of gold.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Gold coin sets, people would sell. Even some of these things are like, this is like a 1915 graded PCGS $10 gold piece, which is half an ounce of gold. But depending on the year and the condition and the mint mark and things like that, some of these things can be worth 15 or 20 grand, just one coin. But I don't know that one is. But so we'd start buying all these gold coins. And when I got into this, I thought we're going to buy broken rings and broken necklaces, but I didn't know all these things we'd have to learn about and buy. But people bring this stuff in, and you have to all of a sudden be an expert on it. So pretty cool. Back to like the reason why I got in the gold business. I was in a motorcycle wreck in 2008. I don't know, this thing's sideways, but I don't know if it'll switch. So I was in a motorcycle wreck in 2008. That was the bike I was riding, and ended up in a hospital bed. Yeah, these are sideways. I don't know why, but so I about got my left leg amputated from the motorcycle wreck. It was severely damaged. Had to be reattached. It was connected by about a quarter of the meat, and the bones were both broken in half, and about 3/4 of my leg going around my ankle have been reconstructed. So that's why I ended up getting into the gold business anyway. And so we started basically taking pictures of the coins, pictures of the items that people actually brought us. So everything you see on the windows there are actually pictures of items we bought from the public, so we could then show the public what it is we buy, so they know what to bring us. Because if someone else sold it to us, and then there's chances are someone else has something like that. And the reason why I bring this up is I use this in real estate too. But so people probably have something like that they could sell us as well. And if we show them what other people sell us, then we'll get more of it, right? We'll just get more of it.
Yeah.
That makes sense?
It does make a lot of sense, actually.
So marketing, like people are always like, well, I don't know what to do with my marketing. Well, just tell the story about your business, which is what we're doing with these pictures. We're telling the story of what we buy without having to say a word, right? So those are, right on the front door when people walk in. So here's a marketing piece.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I put together this marketing piece, and we used to put these in the newspaper. So this is something that's like a little flyer. It went in the Sunday paper, 400,000 people get them. And we'd pick the areas around our stores, maybe 5 or 6 zip codes around each store, and send these out to those areas. And, there's a lot going on here, but one of the things we did on here was, a silver quarter. We'll pay up to $20,000 for a silver quarter. Those are 1932 to 1964. So we put the date range, the value of what we'll pay up to, and and just list all the different types of coins somebody could bring us. So if someone sees this, like, oh shoot, I got some of those old quarters. I'm bringing them in. Well, most people aren't getting $20,000, but we didn't say they would. It's up to. So anything up to that. And so up to 20,000, well, $40,000 is what we could get for the most valuable, most rare quarter out there. At that time, the most valuable, rarest quarter in the world is worth $40,000. So I figure I'll pay 20,000 for it and make 20 grand on it. Okay. So that's how I came up with these numbers here. So everything pretty much, it's like half of what the most valuable coin in that category is. Okay.
Right.
Up to $100,000 for a Morgan silver dollar. Well, they're from 1878 to 1921. The majority of them are probably worth $40 or $50 a piece, but there are a lot of them that are worth more. Just depends on how rare they are. So anyway, that's a piece of marketing that we put together. Well, here's another big old bag of gold every week, or every week, every few days, really, we'd have big bags of gold we need to get sold. And there's the blimp. So I told you earlier, we were playing around with some marketing, and one of my ideas was to have a blimp. So there's see those two big helium tanks right here in the corner?
Yeah.
Well, that's what it takes to fill that thing up. Those two big helium.
Helium. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. And then you got to strap it down.
Yeah, it takes almost two of those to fill it one time. Yeah. Yep. And then what you do is you put it on a rope and you fly it up in the sky.
Yeah.
So there it is.
There's the blimp. We buy gold. Huh.
Yep.
So is that how you get real estate deals nowadays? You have it like a We Buy Houses blimp?
I should, shouldn't I? I should. I mean, that'll be well. So I put the blimp up there on that rope, and I can't remember how long it was. I think maybe 500 feet. Well, the city didn't like that too much. They said, you got to bring that thing down. You can only have it up there 50 feet or 100 feet or whatever the number was.
Yeah.
So then it was on a super short rope, and it started, the wind started blowing. It started hitting all the cars in the parking lot.
You're kidding.
So then those people weren't too happy. So we had to take the blimp down.
Okay.
But like more marketing stuff, we would make big wall hangings of all these are again things we bought. We made our own wall hanging artwork to kind of put some catchy sayings on there, getting people's heads a little bit about why they should come sell us coins or gold or flatware sets or tea sets or whatever. Throw away old broken jewelry, trade it in for cash, or trade in for cash. Old tea set versus cash. Well, that's a tough call. I mean, who uses these anymore, right? So those things that could be worth $3,000 worth of silver sitting there.
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of cash, and people don't even realize. So, but like just I'm into mountain biking anyway. I became a pilot during the gold business. It gave me the freedom and time to actually go get flying lessons. And then I set a goal. I wanted to buy an airplane. So by the end of that year, I had bought this airplane. I'm flying right there.
Yeah.
And there's another storefront location we put in, was our worst location there. This one here, another one, Overland Park. The cool thing about marketing is that you get a lot of perks. So there I am at the one of the Royals games, and the dugout seats. Nobody gets to go there unless you know who controls that area, which the Kansas City Star did. So since I spent a lot of money in the newspaper, they would invite me to go to club level seats at the Chiefs games and the Royals game down here at the dugout. We're like right there by, I don't know if that's third base. I think we're right there by third base.
You're right there though. Yeah. You're basically on the field. So
exactly.
What are some of the like lessons you learned from the Cash for Gold that you then used in your real estate business?
Yeah. So like in the gold business, we ran TV ads, we ran newspaper ads. I just showed you like the insert piece, billboards, radio, online marketing, different things. We were hitting about 5 or 6 different marketing strategies simultaneously all the time. And it was one of my jobs was to keep our stores busy with 20 some employees, a lot of salary every month, 25, probably 40, 50 grand worth of salary a month, plus their commissions. Then you got $30,000 or $40,000 worth of rent. Plus you have $60,000, $70,000 in market, 150 grand a month just in overhead.
Yeah.
So I got to make sure we're busy. If we're not busy, we don't have customers, then we're not going to make money. We're not going to be able to pay those overhead. We're not going to be able to be profitable either. So, I mean, you lose money fast if you just sit on your thumbs and don't do anything, and you've got that much overhead, you get in trouble fast. So, it was always really, like I said, one of my main focuses was always on the marketing to keep everyone busy. Yeah. We do about 8,000 transactions a year buying gold, silver, and diamonds. And those transactions made anywhere from $300 to $8,000 each, profit. So, we want to do as many as we can of that. But by getting to test and try all these different things, I got to learn a lot, really wrap my head around marketing. A lot of people get into real estate investing and have absolutely no clue how to do any marketing. And so it gave me a big head start to really get busy with working with sellers, getting sellers to call me. Because I knew I didn't want to have to worry about where I'm going to find deals.
Yeah. Well, I like with your marketing, it's really interesting. Like you don't go and you don't chase them, like they're chasing you. Like you set it up in a way and like they're coming to you. And like with what you're telling me, like a lot of your stuff is really cool where like you set it once and like it's on automatic, it's on autopilot. And it just comes to you consistently, which I think is really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess I could show you a couple marketing examples and how we kind of like evolved from one to the other, from gold to real estate.
Okay, yeah, sure. That'd be cool.
See if I can find something here that's still out there in the world. Here it is. Okay, so here's and I wish we had all of our stuff, but a lot of the stuff got taken down, I think, from YouTube. But we used to have all of our marketing on here. Let's see here if I can pull this up, and then I don't know if this is the best way to do it. Just have to let me know how the layout looks, if it's got enough.
If you can share your screen again.
Yeah, I'm working on that, but
You're good.
let me know if this looks okay, or I could use a different monitor. If not, oh shoot, okay, sure, sound good. Well, that might work. Okay, can you see okay?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so here's one of our TV commercials we shot for this for the gold stores. Maybe.
We'll see if it'll play. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not letting me do anything. I have to start it. Oh, here, okay. Well, okay, looks like Chrome froze. So give me a sec here.
Yeah, no worries. But that's really cool. So you okay? You do
I can't hear you at all, Victor.
Different types
of talking to me.
What's that?
Your lips moving. Did I lose audio?
Oh, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Oh, you
I
can't.
have lost audio somewhere.
Oh, I think you lost audio. Yeah.
I may have to leave and just come right back.
Okay, sure.
I'll be right back.
Okay, so we got Chad's gonna pop back in here. I guess we got some technical difficulties, but I think it's really cool. I forgot to mention, so if you guys are watching on the live, comment #live. If you guys are watching on the replay, comment #replay. So we're live in the Facebook group right now, and the thing about Facebook is like the more comments, the more likes that are on a post or a live, like more people can see it, so the whole world can benefit from this and benefit from Chad as an example. So make sure to comment #live or comment #replay. We got a couple people here. We have Greg here.
I still can't hear anything. I'm not sure what happened to audio. Let me see if my audio settings are screwed up.
Can you hear me at all?
Speakers, MacBook Pro. I can't hear you, Victor, at all.
You can't hear me. Interesting. Okay. I can hear you. I can't see you.
I don't know if it's my audio or your audio. What happened here? Hold on. Let me just. I'm going to try something else. Be right back.
Okay. Great. So, yeah, while we're taking care of that, yeah, comment #live if you're in the live. #replay. We have Napoleon here, Chris, Obi, Alonzo. Thank you so much, guys. Appreciate it. We'll get this here fixed fixed here in a second. I think so far it's an interesting story. I don't think Chad can hear me, and that's fine. But it's an interesting story, like how Chad, when people zig, he's zagging. Like people are like, oh, do MLS, do bandit signs, and like those methods are effective to some degree. That's why people do it. But there are better ways to do it. That like the deals come to you, like they come to you consistently. Like you can get better deals. Like would you rather spend a little bit on marketing and make 50K versus going some of these free routes and make 20K or something like that? So I think that's really the key too. So really interesting stuff here. And I guess he's gonna have to rejoin here. Albert says that he can hear both. Yeah, that's interesting, Albert. Same here. I can hear him. I could hear him. I guess he couldn't hear us, which was interesting. So I don't even know what happened. I don't think anything changed. I don't think anything changed there. It must have changed on his side. I haven't touched anything. My hands have been, I swear, my hands have been here the entire time. Yeah, he can hear both of us. Okay. Yeah, so it's interesting, and a lot of the methods, like newspaper, he was mentioning TV ads. It's like, okay, I'll have to ask him as he pops on, but it's like, oh, these are things like before chat, I never heard of people doing that. I've never heard of people doing that. I've always heard like the typical, like, oh, cold calling, direct mail. Then I met Chad. I was like, he's doing all these crazy things that nobody's doing. He's getting great results. And I'll have to bring it up here in a second. But he was able to buy, I think at his peak, like 9 properties in a month. He bought and closed 9 properties, which my max has been like 4 or something. So maybe 4 or 5, I don't know. In a 30-day period. So that's insane. So it's like, where do you get those deals? And I think for that one, he was saying like it was huge profits on all of those. So I should wait for him to get back here. There we go. Okay, so he's back. People usually mute themselves when they're sharing. Alonzo's saying, make a sign to tell them to mute himself.
Yep, I can hear you now.
You can hear me now? Hey, there we
I don't know
go.
if I lost, my speaker, something just went all glitchy on it or what.
Yeah,
it's weird.
That's weird. Everyone in the chat, in the comments, was saying they could hear both of us. So I think
they could.
Yeah.
It just must have been my
yeah.
My camera.
Okay. So if you can turn on your camera, because it says EOS webcam utility.
Yeah, give me a second.
Got some technical difficulties. No worries.
Technology it just does its thing sometimes, the way it wants to.
Yeah, that's technology. Can't live with it, can't live without it.
Yep. All right, so there we go.
You're back. Okay, cool. So we're
now,
talking about the cash for gold, and you're going to share some examples.
Yeah, I'll share some examples, just kind of show you how we evolved from one to the other, how the experience came in, and kind of the cool stuff we got to play with there. But let's see if I can pull it up again. I'm going to bring it on a different screen just so it's maybe not so. Let's see here.
I was just telling everyone while you were gone, like, you have like a really cool way of doing the marketing. Before I met you, I didn't know anybody who did it like you. So it's like really cool. Like, you're doing really off the beaten path stuff that works super well. And because it's off the beaten path, nobody else is competing with you. So you can get all these amazing deals that nobody's looking at.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, a lot of times there's not a lot of competition there because most investors have their head in the sand looking at bandit signs and door knocking and driving for dollars and all the stuff they're told to do, which takes no budget, just their time. But this is a way to do it. And like, what I'm sharing, this doesn't have to be like marketing my way. Doesn't have to, you don't have to have tens of thousands of dollars set aside to do it. It can be done on a small budget.
Oh, that's awesome.
But then it can be scaled as well to, you could do 100 houses a year if you want, if you scale it right and you have the right team in place. But I'll show you the example I was going to share earlier. Hopefully my audio continues now.
Okay,
I can hear you still. Good. Okay.
Hey, nice. Congrats.
All right. I'll pull this up. So this is a TV commercial I was inspired to create, and we hired an actress, came up with a script, got a production company, and did a really high level production for this back in the gold business. I'll show you what we did in the real estate business.
Yeah.
Hey, do you need some money? You're not alone. Here's an easy way to make some cash from home. You've got all this stuff laying around your house, right? Like older gold jewelry, sterling silver dishes, silverware. These things are just collecting dust. So bring it into CN Cash for Gold, a locally owned business, and they'll give you more cash than some of the other gold places. Don't pawn it, don't stash it, and definitely don't mail it. Go see them and get more from CN Cash for Gold today.
Nice.
Yeah. One of our first attempts at a TV commercial. So I guess I could leave that going because I'm going to share another thing. So some different ad examples. Oh boy, I'm going to open all the wrong stuff here.
That's really interesting. So it was yeah, but it was relatable. Like it was like, yeah, I don't know how to explain it, but it was just like relatable.
As far as what?
Oh, in terms of the TV commercial, the cash for gold is like, hey, you got all these items, just like you were saying, like people would bring in stuff and you would take like a photo and they would use that for your marketing. That's what that kind of felt like. Like you're taking like what people want and giving it to them. I don't know how else to put it.
Like basically showing them examples of what they might have, they have
Yes.
value
Yeah.
in that they may be able to cash in. And, during that time, it was kind of like almost like, well, I don't know if you remember what it was like, or you're pretty young back then, but
Pretty young.
2008, 2008, 2009, 2010, people were hurting. Like
Mhm.
that recession was painful for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And, and COVID, I thought was going to be a repeat of 2008, 2009, but luckily there was some reasons why it didn't go the same way, but still there's people that are hurting for money. So, if you can imagine at the time, gold prices were going through the roof, like super high. People were losing their jobs and they didn't have money to pay the rent or their mortgage or their bills and to buy groceries. So they needed to find a way to get cash. And then they also had lots of this stuff because we came off of a time where gold, silver, and things like that were super cheap, from like the 80s and 90s and 2000s. So there was a lot of it out there. So there's a lot of material on the streets. There was a need for cash, and there was like the price of it was skyrocketing. So there was just like the perfect storm to make that business really explode and to have lots of people want to come sell stuff. So we're really focusing, like working with soccer moms, the suburbia housewife who needs to help make the ends meet and pay the bills, but want to come to a nice safe place to sell this stuff and not have to go to a pawn shop. But I'm going to show you, like inside of here we have a few examples of like TV ads. So some TV ad examples, stuff I've ran on TV for the real estate investing business. Let's see here. So first TV commercial I did for the housing business, I found a deal with an old celebrity called Wink Martindale, and he's a old TV game show host. So I figured he's pretty relatable to, a lot of people we buy houses from are older folks who are downsizing and moving into retirement homes, and they're maybe they need to go and get an apartment or an assisted living or move in with a family member. And so I figured if I got someone from their era that's a celebrity, they would know who he is, then it might be a good, I don't know, kind of an icebreaker anyway, or maybe a nice endorsement. So in this, we came up with the script. We used our own, like our phone number and our messaging, and then our own pictures of houses we'd bought and flipped, or I bought and flipped. And so I'll just play that.
Have a problem house facing foreclosure, bankruptcy, behind on payments, delinquent taxes, inherited property, retirement, relocating, or needing major repair? Well, House Buyers KC can help you today. They're local, will buy your house right now and pay you cash. No matter what your problems, House Buyers KC will make them go away. No real estate commissions either. I'm Wink Martindale. Give House Buyers KC a call today. 913-777-4444.
So that was our first TV commercial. Ran that. I think I invested about $5,000 the first month to get my TV commercial on the local news channels and all that. And we got a deal that made us $35,000. And I got about 30 leads a day for the first couple weeks running it. So it was crazy, overwhelmed. But, lead costs super cheap. Not all of them were in the right areas or the right fit, but we found one that was, and actually a blind lady sold me a house from my TV commercial.
Crazy.
So she couldn't even see it.
She was blind. So she just listened to it?
She heard it. Yeah. She was like, the messaging tells you what you need to know. And it has my phone number on there. So she called and she wanted to get rid of this house in a great area, sold it to us, and we moved on. So she sold it to me for $35,000. I think I bought it and closed on it. And then I ended up selling it to another investor. I don't think I wholesaled that one, if I remember right, but but we sold it to him for like $75,000 or something like that. So
that's crazy. Well, I wanted to hear you were at one point, like at your peak, like you were doing a lot of deals. I think you did about 9 at the same time, not 9 in the same month. So I'd love to hear about that. And now it makes sense, like with these different marketing strategies, how you're able to get that many deals. So I'd love to hear about like the 9 in a month, and if you're comfortable sharing like how much money you made, or but I would love to get in that, because I've never done 9 either. Maybe one day.
Sure. So 9 deals. You know what? I can probably pull something up about that. I have like a list of all the dates, I think, on my phone, maybe. Let's see here. See here. But anyway, so wonder if I can find that or not. Maybe not. Anyway, yeah. So like the 9 deals off the top of my head, we had like back-to-back closings, some closings multiple the same day. And that month I was actually gone 3 weeks out of the month. So I was actually in Dallas a couple weeks at a training, and I was in another Denver a week, and so I was only in the office about a week, but we still did 9 deals. And the thing about that is having a good team. And I've got some stuff too I can share on the team as well, just kind of like what that looks like, going from maybe a lot of people right now are just a 1-person team. Maybe it's an individual that's doing this on the side, or they've gone full time and they're flipping houses, and they're like, well, I mean, this is a lot of work. How do I make this into the business I always wanted it to really be? Everyone says you get into real estate to be free and have financial freedom and freedom of your time and to be able to travel. But, a lot of people don't have that much time to do that. I mean, without the team. So what that looks like as maybe a 2-person team, maybe it's a husband and wife, or a business partner, a couple partners, and then how to scale that into something larger where you're not having to do everything yourself. Because the real key to all this is to leverage other people's time.
Okay.
Use some of your money to buy time, right? So we need time. So like, if you think about it, probably every, person who's became independently wealthy has realized that at some point or another, that the most valuable asset is not our money, it is our time. Yeah. So if we can invest some of our money to get more time, because the one thing we can't get more of is time. Mm-hmm. Like money replenishes itself. You get a paycheck every week if you have a job. If we do real estate deals, we get more money. But if you have a kid and you miss their baseball game or their soccer game, you can't go back and get that time back. You missed it already. It's over. You get one shot at this life, and once the time is gone, it's gone, right? So I mean, I think a lot of people, they have this unhealthy relationship with money where they don't want to let go of it. They won't invest it. They won't use it to free their time. They'll mow their own lawn instead of paying someone else to mow the lawn. They'll paint their own house instead of paying someone else to paint their own house. And when they get a rehab property or a property to fix and flip, they will go out and buy tools. They'll paint the house themselves. They'll get in there and get their hands dirty, and they'll do one house a year. That's not the right way to do this if you want to have financial freedom and freedom of time, right? So we have to have a healthy relationship with finances and be masters at time management, really blocking out time in the right way and using it effectively. So how did we do 9 deals in a month? Well, I mean, we're doing direct mail pretty well nonstop. Online, we have our website up, and we have Google that really likes us. We're running ads in newspapers. Really, for us, doing 9 deals in a month, it was really just a combination of having a website, mm-hmm. running some ads in the newspaper, and not really ads, but stories. It's like we talked about earlier. Remember, we talked about how we would take pictures of the gold people bring, and we would show that to people who haven't sold us anything, so they know what we buy. And that's the same thing we do with houses. We show the houses we buy, talk about the areas they're in, the problems we solve, the people we help. And the story behind that, it gets inside other people's heads in a way that that gets them on the board with the idea that maybe we can help them too, because they have a similar situation, a similar property, similar problems. And they know that these people in this story can solve it, right? They get confident with that. So, but like I said, it was a combination between direct mail, newspaper, what we call advertorials, stories in the newspaper, not classified ads. That's not the thing. Okay. Not a 3-line, hey, we'll buy your house. Call us at 555-2222. Call now. That's not it. There's much more to it than that. And also having those long stories also mirrored online with links back to our website. So that combination right there makes and even direct mail with links in our postcards and our letters with our web address in there. So we've actually gotten people, believe it or not, we'll get someone who comes through our website as a lead, and it says, oh, hey, so-and-so has filled out your web form. Okay. Mm-hmm. So we got a lead from online, we think. And then we get a hold of the seller and we buy the house, and we ask, well, how did you find, or, at some point we ask them, how did you even find out about us? We saw you came through our website. So did you search on Google? Were you on Yahoo, on Bing, or where were you? How did you find us? Was it YouTube? Oh no, we got your postcard in the mail, and then we went to your website to learn more about you, and we filled out your form. Yeah. Right. But our postcard has in there not only our phone number, most people put their phone number in their direct mail pieces, but also our website.
Mm-hmm.
So then if you can connect all these things together, interconnect them all and let them all work together, then it's much more effective than having them all stand on their own separately. You see?
Mm-hmm.
So TV ads, put the website on there. You know, TV
Yeah,
ad.
I've heard that before. Like if you do like this and this in marketing, it's like 1 + 1 = 3. Just
Yeah,
because
there you
they
go.
complement each other, and then suddenly they see you everywhere. Like, oh, I want to sell my house to Chad just because I see him everywhere. He's in the newspaper. He's in on TV. He's got a website.
Yeah.
He's all over.
Yeah. So I can show you some examples of those types of ads too. There's one more quick video to kind of show you the power of messaging and also the power of showing people what it is you want. Okay. And why maybe they don't want it anymore. So like this is another video. This is one we created for multiple marketing purposes, like social media ads on the website, YouTube, things like that. But it's a little long for a TV commercial, but it's 1 minute and 9 seconds. So it's but my favorite video we've done so far. So every piece of video in the ad is all stuff we shot at properties we owned at the time and properties that we were renovating. So there's a story to be told here.
So you're getting ready to drop a for sale sign in your front yard? Get ready to drop some cash and get it cleaned up. What a hassle. Congratulations, sale pending. Guess what else is pending? The inspection. How's the foundation, the furnace, gutters, siding, steps? So many nightmares your house could be hiding, like this one. That kitchen floor was covering a nasty secret, a collapsed sewer line, and that will cost you tens of thousands of dollars. And it could cost you the sale. But not if you call us. We're House Buyers KC, and we'll let you dump all your home selling problems on us. We clean up the worst real estate messes with one quick cash transaction. We'll buy your house as is at a fair price, no questions asked. Why not ask us for a quote? Avoid the cost, hassle, trouble, and time of listing your house and maybe watching it not sell. Call us. We're House Buyers KC. We buy houses fast.
We got phone number and website on the screen there.
That's amazing. Wow. It's like, it just captures it. And I like the example, like, oh, collapsed sewer line. That's relevant.
Yeah, that was the worst deal I ever done. Probably at least the most biggest surprise that came up in the middle of a deal. Yeah.
So that happened to you. That didn't happen to someone else.
Oh, these are all my properties. Those are all my deals. Everything you saw was all my rehabs at the time we made that video.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's so crazy. Well,
but we're basically selling, hey, if you sell us the house, we will take on those problems. You can walk away. We'll put them on our back. Take them off your back and put them on ours.
Yes.
Or, you could sell it yourself and then you can deal with the surprises later. Who knows?
Exactly.
So that's the way we've used video and a couple of examples to help get the story out there, get inside of people's head a little bit. That was a fear-based ad. So we're really pushing on the things that can go wrong, a little bit negative, but really kind of a little bit of scare them into potentially working with us because of the unknowns. And some of the other ads are more feel good, like, hey, let's really make them feel good and go on the desires. And some other ads might be just about branding, more on the line of, hey, this is who we are and what we do, But so like in the newspaper stories, here's some examples of what those look like. And they work super good. Like I've got one of the real estate investors I'm working with right now. He started doing this. And over the last couple of weeks, he's gotten a deal a week, 2 deals so far in the last couple of weeks. And one of them, he'll make he made 25,000 already on it. And the other one, he said he'll make probably 50 on it. So 75 grand out of a couple of weeks worth of deals from newspapers. But they're long stories. So it says at the top, paid advertisement. Nobody sees that. They don't realize it's an advertisement. They think that the newspaper just loves us and always wants to write about our company, which is a good thing, And so that means when people try to dig up dirt on us, they look around, they see all these stories in the newspaper and they find all these really good things said about us, which is awesome. So in here, we've got a long story talking about how we basically, why people work with us, kind of explaining the new way of selling houses versus using a real estate agent, the new way of working with an investor versus, sell it as is, don't fix it up, don't pay commissions, sell it to us, one person, or, going the old route of meeting with the agent, doing the open houses and showings and fixing the houses and all that sort of stuff. So we go through the and paint the picture of the pros of working with a real estate investor like us. We talk about the property in the picture and kind of like why the seller sold it to us, what kind of problems it had that they didn't have to handle on their own, and the kind of problems we were able to take off their hands, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And a little bit about our office and our team and how it grows. So over time, these stories evolve, and it's kind of like a soap opera in the paper where, every week or every time we're in the paper, it's a different story about a different property in our team. Like at one point, my assistant was pregnant. She had a baby. And then at one point, in the story, she had her baby in the picture, and it was pretty cool because she's standing in front of the house with her baby in her arms. So people read this stuff and they follow it, and they actually mention it to us. And we've had sellers even say, hey, I saw you in the paper and I was inspired to want to sell you my house. Now I want to help the next person. So I want to be in your next story. I want you to, I want to be in the picture with you guys. And I want to really make sure that everyone knows you guys are good people to work with. So we've had sellers do that. I ought to put that one up on here, but so these stories actually also get mirrored in online. So if someone were to search for my company name and maybe a keyword or two, then it pops it up, these stories on Google, and you can read them on the Kansas City Star's website. And then they also link back to my website, which, if you know about link building and backlinks, well, having a link coming in from a highly valued website like kansascity.com, it's very good for my website because it gives me a boost with Google and it makes my site more relevant. So then any search engine optimization I've done actually helps me rank better. So
very cool stuff. So you mentioned something that's interesting. So you mentioned like you have a student who got a 25K deal, another like 50K deal. So it looks like you don't only just do this yourself, like you also teach people how to do this as well.
Yeah, that's correct. I mean, I work with right now about 130 real estate investors, and I've helped thousands over the years, just kind of through social media and through one-on-one calls and things like that. But we created a program about 2 years ago called House Buying Masters, and I primarily focus on the marketing aspects of how to generate leads, and we call it how to automate your real estate investing business. So to bring in leads on autopilot so that you're not out there chasing deals. I mean, I don't know if you'd agree, but we go out and we might spend an hour at a property getting pictures taken with the paper and sitting down and telling them about the situation, and then from that point I don't touch it anymore. I mean, it's all I have to do. And I could run that for a couple months and get leads and deals. And every piece of marketing we do is like that, where there's a little bit of work up front, not a lot. Most of the thinking and all the figuring it out, all the really creative things goes on from those people at the paper or the TV station or whatnot. And I just have to show up and do my part, and then we kind of forget about it. And we get leads on autopilot after that. Does that make sense?
That's really cool. So where, like, if folks were interested, like how can people get a hold of you, or like how can people reach out to you? Because the stuff you teach is really cool. Like I see your like emails come through on my end, and like stuff, like you're always getting successful students like, oh, this guy got a 50K deal, this guy got a 100K deal. Like I keep seeing that like consistently. So if folks are interested, like how can they get a hold of you?
Yeah, so we have a website called chadlauer.com. You can go to chadlauer.com, and then you can check out case studies and testimonials on there. We have a little video that talks a little bit about it on there. And then our Facebook group is called 7-Figure Real Estate Investors. So we could probably put the link on there, couldn't we?
I'm gonna do that now.
Chat. So I don't know if you have the link or you need me to get it for you.
No, I got it.
Yeah,
I'll just post that below so folks can check that out. So chadlauer.com, and then I just post the Facebook group as well.
Yeah, and we actually have one of our members. He just put up a website. We'll follow in our search engine strategy about a month ago, and he just got a deal under contract about a week ago, and he said I got a $90,000 net profit is what he's looking on that one. So
wow.
First deal from his marketing efforts with us. Pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, especially in today's hot market, like it's so hard, like inventory is so low and it's so hard to get deals. So if you have like a proven way to get deals, that's awesome. So I'm, good for him.
Well, like his deal, the tree fell on the house. So the lady, that he's buying it from, she got this insurance check to pay for the work, and then she ended up hiring a contractor. Contractor ran off with the money and did some demo, and so she's kind of stuck in a spot where she's like, I don't really want to sell it, but I don't have any choice. And she's like, doesn't want to have to go out and take out loans and hire more contractors. So it's like, it's an unfortunate situation, but also there's a solution there. We're able to help her get that property bought, she has equity, so she can walk away and buy another piece of property and be okay. So yeah, pretty cool to be able to help her out. But then Julian will make a good profit after he does all the work. And it's $120,000 rehab. So it's not like he's just buying this house and going to walk away with 90 grand. He's got a lot of work ahead of him.
Yeah. No, but still exciting. I mean, 90K, that's still 90K he didn't have before,
Yeah, for sure.
One deal. And like, that's just one deal. Like, what about other deals and, future deals? And he keeps implementing this stuff, even like, a couple of those a year. And that's multiple six figures. That's huge.
Well, and thinking about how to get to seven figures. Okay. Do one deal like that a month for 12 months. You're at seven figures in net profit. Okay. Do 3 deals a month where you make 40 grand a piece. And you're way over that. I mean, 2 deals a month making 40 grand a piece, or 3 deals making 30. You're at you have a 7-figure business. So how hard is it to do when you get good at this? How hard is it to do 1, 2, or 3 deals a month? I mean, it's not that hard. That's like, you go to work 30 days out of the month and you make 1 sale a month. You make one, that's a failure of a salesperson in most businesses. So I mean, to make 1 sale a month, I mean, come on now, you get to convince 1 person a month to sell you a house out of all of 30 days. Okay. In 29 days, you can fail. 1 day a month, you need to
take 29 days off, just work that 1 day and get the deal. Yeah.
You're easily at a 6-figure business doing 1 deal a month.
If you always see you like on Instagram, like what's really cool, like you have a lifestyle business as well. Like you're doing really well with the real estate, but like I see you're like biking or like RVing or out with the dogs. Like you're always doing something, barbecuing. So it's not just like, hey, I'm Chad, I'm making a ton of money, but like you're enjoying life, which is really cool too.
Yeah, I like to travel and I like to be outdoors. I like the dogs. I like to be active. So, my friends got me into mountain biking when I was in my early 20s, and we're still doing that. I'm 40, so, and then, I like to hike and climb mountains and just, be active and outdoors. I mean, I think one of the best ways you can recharge and some of the best ideas you can get are from really unplugging from the world and getting out there. Like when I'm on a mountain bike trail, I'm totally focused, looking at the trail. My mind is only on one thing. And then all of a sudden these great ideas start popping into my head when normally I have 50 things going on in my head. There's like all these, if you're in your busy life, busy personal life, busy business life, and during the day, I mean, you're bombarded with all kinds of interruptions. You can clear the slate, clear your mind and focus, then that's when the best ideas come. Like I come back from some of those activities with some of the best business ideas. When I don't do them, my business suffers. When I do them, my business grows. So it's important.
You're growing a business when you're vacationing. I like it. That's good.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, definitely. Yeah. So, I mean, we kind of talked about 7 figures, and what you really need to do is take and build a team and really divide it out into multiple roles. And I have something here I can share real quick. I know we're short on time, but maybe you want to share this or you want it for yourself. I've got a org chart that I pulled down before we started this call. It kind of shows what the responsibilities and roles are when it goes to a two-person business versus like a 1-person business. And then what you need to do. I mean, a follow-up to this would be really, what do you need to do to make a 5 or 6-person business, and how do you divide this out again? But this is kind of the stepping stone or the beginning point to that.
If you can send it over, or we can take a look at it right now.
Yeah, we'll take a look real quick, and I'll figure out a way. I'll probably throw it into a Dropbox link or something, let you share it out that way.
If you like, let's put it in your group, and then if people want to get this, they can join your group, and then maybe you'll just have it there.
Okay, that's a good idea. Yeah. So if anybody wants to have this chart, then make sure you let us know that when you join my group, and we'll make sure you get it. But so this is a real estate investing business with 2 people and all of the jobs that each person needs to do. So really 1 person is going to be handling marketing and acquisitions potentially. I mean, this could be divided another way. So you've got your marketing and sales person. And on the right side, you've got your project management and sales manager. So this person helps to make sure you get rid of properties and make sure that projects are getting completed, that rehabs are happening. The other person is making sure you have leads coming in and that you're buying properties. And then you share responsibilities when it comes to like, office admin stuff, new business opportunities, bookkeeping, paying bills, office inventory. But really here, these are 5 or 6 full-time jobs. So if anyone's doing real estate investing, wondering why they're feeling like they're doing 5 or 6 jobs and they're working 5 or 6 different jobs, then this is why, because you are.
I think that's a good way to look at it, because people, they may have their first, second flip, and that's great, but like to take it to the next level, like you have to like upgrade. Like you can't. There's only so much things you can do yourself.
Yeah, I mean, if you can imagine like playing on a baseball team and being everything, like if you're the pitcher, you're the catcher, you're the first baseman, you know, and you're playing against another baseball team, or even just one person who's batting. Well, I mean, we've probably all done that. Played baseball when we were kids, when with one friend, you know, you're basically throwing the ball and hitting it, and that's all there is to it. Somebody's got to run after the ball and go get it, and then you got to get back before they make it around the bases. But you know, you're basically trying to play baseball, have a baseball team with one person, and that's not real effective. A full team that is much more effective at business or at baseball than one person. So when you can start treating your business like it's a factory assembly line or a baseball team, and everyone has their piece they do, you start doing a lot more deals with a lot less effort, which is how I was able to, you know, do 9 deals in a month and be gone 3 weeks out of the month.
Amazing stuff. Very, very cool. Well, again, I appreciate you hopping on here, Chad. Really cool to hear your story. Thanks for dropping all those tidbits, knowledge, nuggets, wisdom. I think the way you do things is really interesting, and it works really well. It's super effective, and I mean the results show. The results show for sure. So if you guys are interested in Chad, I've dropped the links below in the comments. So if you want to check out his Facebook group, check out his website. He's the real deal. I don't know how else to put it. He's out there. He's one of the few who's actually out there like doing deals, but also teaching people. Sometimes you get these kind of gurus who've never done a deal, or they did one deal 2 decades ago. They're kind of pinning their coat on that. But Chad's out there doing it. He's the real deal. But again, very much appreciate you hopping on here. It's been fantastic.
All right, thanks for having me, Victor, and we'll look forward to talking to anybody who wants to reach out.
Absolutely.
All right,
Cool.
check you out later, man. All right, see ya. Thanks.